If you're new or just can't tell, I like to draw. I think you know where I'm going with this. Starting us off is a drawing of this person's OC, Chinesla. Faithful to the reference, the line work wasn't really complicated and the color scheme was mostly just white and pink. As you may have noticed, however, there were parts where I would redo lines over and over. These were probably my least favorite parts of these drawing processes, but if it makes better results, then it's fine to take extra time. Anyway, it seems like we're about done with the first drawing. And from the happy expression, I'd say Chinesla agrees, so I think it's time to move on to drawing 2. I think the term juxtaposition defines this drawing pretty well. Not only did it take much longer, but the two drawings also gave off completely different moods. Yeah, I'm happy.
Boo, I'm concentrating on my math homework. Yeah, that's what I'm concentrating on right now.
Moving on from that, you may have noticed that I haven't actually started doing the camo yet, and how I didn't add the shoes yet, but I will add those later, so just stay with me here. Speaking of the camo, this is mainly what made this drawing take so long. Not only does camo take forever to draw, but I was also interrupted a couple times while doing it. You might not be able to tell, but just trust me on that. Despite this one taking so long, I am happy with how it turned out. I would get Goku's opinion, but he seems to be kind of busy, so I won't. Let's just leave him here while we move on to drawing 3. For this drawing, I drew the Roomba first, since having the ground for Garfield to sit on would be helpful. When I got to drawing Garfield, I decided to draw his body first and his stripes last. Doing the stripes on a separate layer after everything else was already drawn was pretty helpful too. And if I were gonna give a Garfield drawing tip, that would probably be it. One last thing I want to note is the symmetry ruler. It's not usually accurate to perspective and one shouldn't always use it, but it can be nice sometimes. In this example, Garfield is facing directly towards the camera, so it makes sense to use symmetry here. And even if Garfield was facing to the left or the right, I could still use it for basing proportions on the head or body or whatever, as long as I draw new perspective accurate lines based on the symmetry ones. And we're done. I'd say this turned out fairly well, and judging from Garfield's face, I'd say
This joke stinks.
Oh.
I hate Mondays.